Hi, this is Esther from Stampin Star Creations. I'm so glad you can join me for another global Stampin Video Hop. This month's theme is to use designer series paper, so I've got a couple of projects for you today. The first being a twist box. Now this is a one that I made a while ago and I've had to take it apart to actually figure out how it works and the measurements. So we start off with an A4 sheet of cardstock and I'm using Bumblebee, the new in colour. Starting on the short side first, we're scoring at 2, 4, 6 and 8. That's the easy scoring bit. Then you want to turn your card onto the long side and then we're going to score again. At 1/2 inch and then at 2.5 inches. Then at 9 inches and then at 11, so you're left with a gap at the end of your paper. So that's 1/2, 2.5, 9 and 11 inches. So I'm just trying to show you an easy visual way of the pieces that need cutting out from the card. So those two smaller pieces at the top we don't need. And then we're taking out the side bits. That actually runs all the way down, but I'll show you that in a minute. And then you cut out these whole square pieces here. And then the bits at the very end we don't need either. So these bits are all going to be cut out. I'm using a pair of large scissors here, so hopefully you can visualise what I'm doing. I found it easiest just to cut along those 3 sections and snip those away in one fair swoop. Sorry, my phone is trying to focus on what I'm doing. So snip up and take out that square. Now save these for later because they do come in handy for the rest of the project. And then you want to repeat on the other side. So cutting away those 3 sections, cutting into that opposite square and taking out the little tab at the top. Then you want to just take a snip off each of the corners of the flaps, and this just makes it easier for folding. And then you want to cut down that section so that all those squares on each side you've got a flap. Keep notching away each side of those flaps that are left. So I've left this in so you can see the whole process just in case you're following along and a bit unsure of which bits to cut, which bits to keep in. Feel free to forward if you've made a box before and know what you're doing. Right, so now for the scoring, and we're just working in that centre panels and we're going to do some diagonal scoring as per my diagram. So you've got those 4 rectangles in the middle. You want a ruler or something that you can lean up against. I'm using the score tool from the scoreboard, or you can use another scoring tool and just run it down the ruler, and you can press fairly hard against the card so you get a good impression because you want this card to bend and fold. So working on all 4 of the panels, you're going from one end to the opposite end, so you've got a diagonal score line. And there you can see all the score lines. Next thing to do is just to then fold and burnish all those creases, giving them a good press down so that they have the memory to go back to where you put them afterwards. Don't forget that end line, that's quite important, that one, because that's going to glue the whole box together. Then when it comes to the diagonal creases, just follow the score. They should bend quite naturally, and then just crease them and burnish them with your bone folder. So the box just folds together, and I'm just putting it together to show you how it goes. Now, I was trying to push the box in the wrong direction, but if you push it in the opposite direction, you'll find that it will naturally go into place. So if you're struggling and thinking it's creasing, it's not doing what it's supposed to do, then just work with it. So I'm using some lovely, pretty designer series paper from the Flowers for Every Season suite and the in colour paper to decorate my box. I'm cutting it down at 1 3/4 inch and leaving it at the 6-inch length. And once you've cut your pieces, I'm going in a diagonal line, so again from the top of one corner to the bottom of the opposite corner. And these fit perfectly onto the box. Now, I decided to have the pattern next to each other because when the box is folded, I like the way it looked once it was put together. Make sure you put your glue right to the point so that this whole piece of paper sticks down nicely to your box. I decided to use the Stampin Seal Plus, is it called? And it did actually create too much glue on the end. It hung over, but I managed to be able to tuck it over. So maybe next time I would use a different glue or maybe tear and tape. But it was fine, it worked in my favour. Once you've got glue on that flap, just bend it over to meet the other side, and then your box is ready and you can tuck in the ends and get ready for your twist. So it does need a bit of manipulating, but once it goes round, it goes round. And there, I love the design on the box. So next I wanted to create a rose with the paper, so I'm just trimming it down at 2-inch intervals and using the heart punch. As you can see, I go right in the corner there because I want to get the most out of that paper, and I'm cutting out all these hearts, scrunching them all up, and then I decided actually it's easier if I spritz them with water because it helps them to be able to scrunch up into shape. You want to break up those fibres so it's easier to manipulate them into the shape that you want them. So once they're all scrunched up, you can lay them all out ready to use, and I'm just encouraging them to curl around with tweezers, especially for some of the centre petals that I want to make. I am battling with my glue gun. I think it might be the glue sticks, and I'm just putting these petals together and snipping off the bottom end of the flowers or the petals so I don't have a great big bulk underneath. Adding some bumblebee ribbon and some of that lovely tulle ribbon and the twine to add some decoration to underneath the flower. I'm just going to pop the rose right on top. The silicone mat is fantastic for things like hot glue. I'm using my circle punch just to punch out that scrap of card from earlier, so I've got a base to be able to glue it on to my actual box. So that's the 1.5-inch circle punch. I wanted to use the remaining papers to create a tag, so I'm just trimming it down to 2 inches by 4 inches, and again using the other bit of yellow cardstock, the bumblebee cardstock, and putting it through the tag top puncher tag topper punch. Now I forgot that on the other side was paper design, so I had to cover it up with a white card, just stuffing in some sweets, seeing what fits inside. And there's our box. So stick with me. I've got a card using All Things Fabulous to create a rose and to use more of the offcuts to create the card. Using Mango Melody, I'm going with the darkest colour and the smallest stamp first, Bumblebee for the medium sized, and So Saffron for the main bulk of the flower. Silly me, forgot to order the dies, didn't I? So I've had to fussy cut these out. I go ahead and stamp some leaves to add to the design, add my sentiment in on a strip of paper and glue it all together. I mount the square onto a 2 1/4 inch Whisper White, pop up the rose on dimensionals and tuck in the leaves behind. I love the way the paper has come together with this rose, and I'm keeping it all very monochromatic. I just love showing off a single colour. Adding some Bumblebee embellishments just to help complete the look of my card. Very elegant, very simple. And there you go, the box and the card together. I love this project, and I love the fact that it's matching and you can just gift it to somebody with all those lovely matching pieces. Please do go and check out the amazing projects from all the other people on the hop and follow the link below, and then you can just keep following on to the next hop. Please do subscribe to my channel if you are new to me, and if you hit the bell button you can get notifications of my videos. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day.